Good morning, students. Today I'll discuss a topic of Unit 4 with all of you, that is Global or International Human Resource Management. This is part 1 of the PPT. Now, as we all know, human resource management refers to the activities an organization carries out to use its human resources effectively. These activities include determining the firm's HR strategy, staffing, performance evaluation, management development, compensation, and labor relations. Global or international human resource management. International human resource management can be defined as a set of activities aimed at managing organizational human resources at international level to achieve organizational objectives and to gain competitive advantage over competitors at national and international level. International human resource management includes human resource functions such as recruitment, selection, performance appraisal, training, and development. Model of International Human Resource Management. The model of International Human Resource Management has three aspects: HR activities, types of employees, and countries. HR activities include procurement, utilizing, and allocation. Types of employees means home country nationals, host country nationals, and third country nationals. And countries are home country, where the headquarters of the global organization are based. Host country is the country where the organization has set up its office. And the third country is the country where it wants to expand its operations. International Human Resource Management. International human resource management is the process of acquiring, allocating, and utilizing human resources in a global organization to achieve the stated objectives. On account of its global context, international human resource management is the interplay of three dimensions: HR activities, types of employees, and countries of operations, as we already discussed in the previous slide. Importance of international human resource management. It is related to the strategy of the organization. It influences the character, development, quality, and productivity of the organization's human resource. It helps organizations to achieve strategic goals of reducing the cost of value creation. It helps organizations to add value by serving the customer needs better. How different is global HRM from domestic management? Now, there are several key factors that make global or international HRM different from domestic management. They are different labor markets, mobility problems related to legal, economic, and cultural barriers, different management styles, varied compensation practices, and labor laws. Key issues in global or international HRM. Now, the key issues are how to staff key management posts in the organization, how to develop managers who can do business in different countries, how to compensate people in different nations, how to evaluate the performance of managers in different countries, and expatriate managers. Strategic role of global HRM. Global strategy is implemented through organizational architecture, that is, the structure and form by which the organization operates. The role involves putting the right people at right postings. It involves effective training of employees to acquire the right skill set to help them perform jobs effectively. Compensation for employees must create incentives for actions that are aligned with organizational strategy. Performance appraisal should measure the behavior of employees that the firm wants to encourage. Staffing policy in global or international HRM. Staffing policy is concerned with the selection of employees for particular or the right jobs. Selecting individuals who have the skill to do a particular job. It is a tool for developing and promoting the desired corporate culture, that is, the norms and value system of the organization. Types of staffing policies. There are 4 types of staffing policies in global or international HRM. These are ethnocentric approach, polycentric approach, regiocentric approach, and geocentric approach. Ethnocentric approach. The ethnocentric approach to recruitment means that the organizations hire people from the parent country to fill positions all over the world. For example, if they want to fill an executive role in a foreign country, they could relocate one of the existing employees who is a permanent resident of their parent country, or they could hire a person from the parent country who lives or wants to live in the host country. Ethnocentric approach continued. They use the ethnocentric method when opening a new branch at a new country so that it would be easier for the company's policies and procedures to be transferred from the parent country to the new branch. As a rule, expat rights from the parent country should comprise less than about 20% of a foreign office so that they minimize the total hiring costs and avoid missing the pulse of the local community. An example is Procter & Gamble, Toyota, and Philips. Polycentric approach. The polycentric approach to recruitment means that the organization hires locals to fill their posts in a host country. For example, they could advertise on local job boards or create a contract with a local recruitment agency. They use the polycentric approach when they need the skills of locals to conduct their business. Another example is if they want to expand their client base in a specific country, they would hire a local professional who knows the market and can coordinate the sales operations for them. Some more aspects of polycentric approach. One of them is decentralized control. Another one is business units in different countries have autonomy from home office like a local company. Recruits host country nationals to manage subsidiaries while parent company nationals occupy key positions at the company's corporate office. It is less expensive to implement. Host country nationals have limited opportunities to gain experience outside their own countries. Gap due to language barriers, cultural differences may isolate corporate headquarters from foreign subsidiaries. An example is Hindustan Unilever Limited. The third aspect of recruitment is regiocentric approach. The regiocentric approach to recruit means that the organization hires or transfers people within the same region, like a group of countries, to fill their open positions. For example, they might decide to transfer employees within Scandinavian countries. Therefore, if they want to hire someone in Sweden, a host country, they could transfer one of their employees from Norway, another host country in the same region. The organizations use the regiocentric approach when the costs of transferring an employee from a host country are lower than transferring them from the parent country. When deciding to use this approach, they take into account any language or cultural barriers that might exist. Regiocentric approach continued. Variation of staffing policy to suit particular geographical areas is one aspect. It provides a stepping stone to an organization wishing to move from an ethnocentric or polycentric approach to a geocentric approach. An example is McGraw-Hill. The fourth aspect of recruitment is the geocentric approach. Geocentric approach to recruitment is hiring the best people to fill the organization's positions without regard to where they come from or where they live. This means hiring remote employees. They use this option when they want to hire someone at a place where they don't have offices. For example, if they want a customer support agent in another time zone to support their customers there, that is, a country which is having a different time zone than their own. Relocating the employees. This includes both bringing foreign talent into their parent company and relocating people to a new host country. They use this approach when they need someone to be physically present at a specific location. Geocentric approach continued. To use the geocentric approach, the organization needs to have a global outlook on recruitment. For example, whenever a position opens at a host country or their parent country, the hiring team could advertise on global job boards first before using local job boards, mentioning the location of the job clearly. Also advertise on job boards focused on remote work when possible. Source candidates online without looking at their current job location. Check their global employee database to find internal candidates who may wish to relocate. Ask recruiters to suggest candidates they met at international career fairs or events. Ask for referrals from the existing employees as they may have someone in their network who could fit in with their job position and be willing to relocate. Geocentric approach, the final part. It seeks the best people for key jobs throughout the organization, regardless of nationality. It is based on informed knowledge of home and host countries. It enables organizations to make the best use of their HR. It helps the organization to build a cadre of international executives who feel at home working in a number of countries. It helps in building a strong unifying corporate culture and informal management network. An example of this kind of an organization is Colgate Palmolive. Thank you for your patient listening. Today we discussed the first part of Global HRM or International HRM, a topic of Unit 4.